Hey guys, what's up? I want to tell you a little story. When I used to ref down in Chicago, I would be doing high school, and there was this one team that I would ref. It was like a JV team, and this school was very well-to-do. They were one of the best schools in the area, and kind of like a white-collar school up on the North Shore of Chicago, and just a good team, well coached, and good players, excellent facilities. And whenever I go and ref this team, I would always I'd feel a little bit on edge, or not centered. I'd kind of be a little bit nervous, and I'd almost feel like I wanted to please this coach, or make sure that he was happy, or call what he wanted me to call, or call a perfect game so that I wouldn't hear it from him. Okay? And what this coach would do is, as soon as the game started, this coach was intense, and he was very vocal. He was vocal with his players, and he'd be vocal with me too. There would be a constant running commentary throughout the whole game, and he wouldn't address me directly hey ref. He would just say things out loud oh come on, or he'd say he said this one a lot. He'd go, we'll take that, right? Like he wants that foul. Or if I called something that he liked, he'd say thank you. Or sometimes if there was a lot of contact, he would go hey. Or if there was a foul, he might yell foul. Or if I did something that he didn't like, he might shake his head or look disappointed. But he would be kind of in my ear the entire game. It was just this running commentary. And again, it wasn't he was hey Steven, or hey ref, blah blah, but it was just it was in the background, just a little chirp, 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 the whole game. And it was just, he would just kind of chip away, and he might glare at me if there's something that he didn't like, but it was just I would just wait for him just to make these comments, and it was just, it got in my head so much that like I said at the beginning of the video, I kind of didn't feel centered, or I felt inferior, or I had to please him or get his approval, or I felt on edge, or I didn't want to do something bad because I didn't want to disappoint this coach, and just not good for me as a referee. So rather than just owning that I was gonna disappoint him or not call the game that he wanted to, or kind of have a direct, honest, assertive conversation with him, I just never had that conversation. I never went up to him and said, please keep your comments to yourself. I don't want to hear you the entire game. You can talk to me after the game, not during the game. I don't want to hear you. Right? I was too afraid or weak or intimidated to have that conversation. Right? Because I had done a number of games, and he knew who I was, and we were friendly and blah blah blah. There wasn't super bad blood, but it's harder to confront, in my opinion, I guess. It's harder to confront a coach who you've done games for a bunch of times than one who's a total stranger, right? Because there is some loose relationship there, and I guess it was just hard for me. And if I could do it again, if I could go back down there, being older, more mature now, I would say, let's say the guy's name was Bob. I'd say, Bob, I don't want to hear you the whole game. Respectfully. Thank you. Right? Because just this constant chirp, 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 it wasn't super aggressive or mean, but it was just getting into my head and throwing me off. So if you're dealing with a situation like that, guys, I've been there. I know what you're talking about, and hopefully this might shed some light on the situation that you're in. But if I could do it again, I would have that conversation. You gotta cut off those constant, comments or commentary that are coming or directed toward your ear during the game, because it's just it affected how I reffed. So thanks. I just hope that was helpful.